Why do humans, capable of empathy, cooperation, and astonishing creativity, keep returning to war? Why do we build cities, write laws, raise families, and then tear everything apart with conflict? The weapons change, the borders change, the motivations change, but the pattern doesn't. Every era, every continent, every civilization, ancient or modern, has known war. It follows humanity like a shadow we can't outrun. So the question isn't just historical, it's personal, it's psychological, it's human. To understand why humans keep going to war, we must go back, not centuries, but tens of thousands of years, into the roots of human behavior, identity, fear, and ambition. Before civilization, the first violence. Picture a world with no kings, no borders, no armies, just small human groups surviving in harsh landscapes. For years, people imagined early humans as peaceful hunter-gatherers, living simply, humbly, harmoniously. But archaeology says otherwise. Prehistoric graves around the world reveal spear wounds, crushed skulls, arrowheads lodged in ribs, entire groups wiped out. The famous 13,000-year-old site at Jebel Sahaba shows dozens of men, women, and children killed violently. This wasn't an empire invading another. There were no nations. There were simply groups, and groups collided. Why? Fear, territory, scarcity, survival. When resources were low, or when one group threatened another, conflict erupted. Not because humans were evil, but because they were vulnerable. This reveals something fundamental. War existed before civilization, before writing, before kings, before power. That means war is not just a cultural invention. It is rooted in instincts older than history itself. Us and them, the ancient code in the human brain. Humans evolved to bond deeply with our own group and fear outsiders. This tribal instinct is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. It made cooperation possible. It made survival possible. But it also made conflict inevitable. Evolution rewarded these instincts. Loyalty to your group, suspicion of others' retaliation when threatened, unity when facing enemies. These responses helped our ancestors survive, and because they survived, these instincts were passed on. Today, we live in nations of millions, but our brains still think in tribes. That ancient psychological wiring is still there, waiting for a spark. When war became a profession, fast forward several thousand years, humans settle, farms appear, villages grow into cities, cities expand into kingdoms. With civilization came something new and dangerous, the professional warrior. Weapons improved, hierarchies formed. Kings wanted land, tribute, and power. Conquest became status. For the first time, societies didn't just fight when they had to. They fought because they could. The Sumerians, Egyptians, and Hittites carved triumphs on temple walls. The Assyrians built an empire on terror, announcing proudly the cities they destroyed. The Greeks romanticized war. The Romans built a machine for it. War became a path to glory, a source of wealth, a symbol of identity, a foundation of empire. It was no longer merely a reaction to danger, it became a strategy. And for many rulers, the easiest way to unify a divided population was to give them a common enemy. The seduction of power. Why did leaders choose war? Often for the same reason leaders do today. Ambition. A king who conquered doubled his glory. A general who won was celebrated. A ruler who expanded borders was immortalized. Victory brought land resources, prestige control. War was a gamble with extraordinary rewards, and the people paying the cost were rarely the ones making the decision. To understand why war continues, we must acknowledge a painful truth. A small number of leaders start wars. A large number of ordinary people suffer them. The human emotions that fuel conflict. War is not just political or economic. It is emotional. Fear nations fear attack. Leaders fear losing power. Groups fear each other. Fear sparks conflict faster than logic can prevent it. Honor. Many wars begin over reputation, a slight, an insult, a demand for respect. Honor-based societies, from ancient Greece to medieval Japan, turned conflict into a virtue. Modern nations still do it in different language. Credibility, deterrence, strength. Revenge. Revenge makes conflict cyclical. One attack becomes two become 10. 10 become a generational feud. Entire regions live under the weight of history's wounds. Identity. Once war begins, identity hardens. We divide the world into good and evil, right and wrong, ally and enemy. And once the world is divided that way, compromise becomes betrayal. The security dilemma. The logic that traps everyone. Imagine two nations. Both want peace. Both distrust each other. Nation A builds weapons, just for safety. Nation B sees this and builds more. Nation A feels threatened and builds even more. Neither one wants war, but both prepare for it. This is the security dilemma, one of the strongest forces driving conflict throughout history. Peace becomes fragile. Suspicion becomes normal. War becomes possible again. This dilemma explains the arms race of ancient empires, the Cold War modern nuclear tensions. War can emerge not from aggression, but from fear. The economics of warfare. War has always been terrible for ordinary people, but often profitable for those in power. Empires used war to gain. Farmland, slaves, gold, trade routes, ports, resources. Modern wars shift the same logic. Oil minerals, technology, political influence. Where there is profit to be made, there is always someone willing to argue that war is necessary. Understanding this reveals another truth. War persists not just because humans fight, but because some people benefit when they do. War stories, the myths that shape identity. Humans don't forget war. We memorialize it, retell it, romanticize it. Every civilization built myths around warriors. Achilles, Gilgamesh, King Arthur, samurai knights, freedom fighters, revolutionaries. These stories do not disappear. They shape identity. They inspire action. War becomes part of the cultural memory, and memory is powerful enough to resurrect conflict even centuries later. Modern warfare. Technology outruns human nature. Today, humanity has the most advanced weapons ever created. Nuclear warheads, drones, cyber warfare, biological threats, and yet our psychological instincts, fear, tribalism, aggression, are unchanged from 10,000 years ago. This mismatch is dangerous. A species built for small group conflict now wields weapons capable of destroying civilization. We evolved emotionally, but not enough to handle the tools we've created. The 5 reasons humans go to war. Across all civilizations, all eras, all continents, the vast majority of wars emerge from 5 core forces. 1. Fear, fear of attack, fear of loss, fear of uncertainty. 2. Interest, land, wealth, influence, survival. 3. Honor, prestige, respect, reputation. 4. Revenge, responding to real, often imagined wrongs. 5. Ideology, religious missions, political visions, moral crusades. War is complex, but these 5 reasons explain most of human conflict. The question beneath the surface. We often ask, why can't humanity stop going to war? But perhaps the deeper question is, can a species shaped by fear, identity, and competition build a world beyond war? Every peace treaty in history, every alliance, every diplomatic triumph shows it's possible. But every new conflict reminds us of the obstacles. Humans long for peace, but distrust makes peace fragile. Humans desire stability, but leaders choose ambition. Humans crave meaning, but conflict often provides it faster than wisdom does. What war reveals about us. Studying war is not about studying violence alone. It is about studying ourselves. War reveals how deeply humans fear, How fiercely we protect what we love, how easily we divide, how quickly we dehumanize, and how hard it is to escape our oldest instincts. War exposes the human condition at its rawest. Our courage, our cruelty, our loyalty, our ambition. But war also reveals something hopeful. Humans also created diplomacy, treaties, institutions, peace movements, laws of war, agreements designed to restrain our worst impulses, which means conflict is not our only inheritance. So is restraint, so is compassion, so is understanding. Are we doomed to repeat the past? The truth is complex. War is part of human nature, but so is the fight to overcome it. Humans will never be free of conflict entirely, because conflict is woven into identity, fear, ambition, and survival. But war does not have to define humanity's destiny. History is not a prophecy. It is a warning. It is a mirror. The real question is not why humans go to war, but whether we can evolve morally faster than we destroy ourselves technologically. If war is born from our oldest instincts, then peace must be born from our deepest wisdom. And the future depends on which one we choose. If you found this exploration insightful, give this video a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to Timeless Questions channel for more deep dives into philosophy, history, and human nature. Because the questions may be ancient, but the wisdom is timeless.